And back to you, Russ. With the increased attention of squatters and vacant homes, what action do you intend to take to discourage squatters? This includes rental residences.
I don't recall seeing any upswing in reports of this kind of behavior. It would be reported to us as criminal trespass or perhaps malicious mischief. Those are the statutory names for I think the conduct that we're talking about. We take those very seriously, and to the extent that we have the resources to, we will prosecute them. I would point out that we no longer handle the Bremerton Municipal Court. We're talking about misdemeanor behavior, so activity like that inside the city of Bremerton would not come to my office.
Thank you. Bruce?
Certainly, once you're aware of a criminal trespass, this I think is also a good indication that other things are afoot, especially hard drug dealing, other criminal activities, hostile prostitution. So if it's brought to the attention of the prosecutor's office, they need to prosecute the offending party.
So we haven't had a budget question, so let me sneak this one in here. And it's the only one we actually have regarding the budget. If you have to cut the prosecutor's budget by 9%, where would you start? Bruce?
If you had to cut it by 9%, I would probably pull aside the civil attorneys that got us into this mess in the first instance with the failure to provide public documents, and I would cut them out of that department. Certainly, the county prosecutor's office has undertaken a lot of litigation in the civil end that does not need to take place, that our primary concern, the prosecutor's office, needs to be public safety. And our prosecutor's office does not need to devote all of its resources to protect our county officials from ill-advised decisions that they have made to withhold records or other information. So the civil end would be the first place that I would start looking to cut our budget.
Thank you.
If we have to make that kind of cut, that's probably where we would start as well. We're at the point in our civil cases where we are able to keep up with the demand, but it's a different story on the criminal side. As I said earlier, we're the only ones who can start a criminal case and keep the criminal case going, and when court is in session, we have to be there. The resources that the support we give to the county commissioners, the county assessor, the county treasurer, the county sheriff in the civil realm can be purchased on the open market. It will be less efficient, but that can be done. So if we have to make those cuts, that's where we will cut. However, we are, we hope, going to be able to find some extra revenue to try to meet that challenge. We have a possibility of engaging in some traffic enforcement through some reshuffling of our assets, which I can maybe talk about later, that will help fill the gap.
Thank you. This question goes to Mr. Hauge. According to this questioner, this March, you and your office told Bainbridge Police there was no crime for stealing political signs in Bainbridge right away. The police caught this guy red-handed with 10 signs. Your office said the signs were abandoned property. The questioner asked, can I take your Hauge political signs as abandoned property?
That question comes from Captain Olson. He sent me a letter asking for an opinion, gave me a 2-week deadline to respond.
I never got a response.
That's right, you didn't, because we talked with you about that at quite some length.
Never.
And the answer is as represented. Political signs are abandoned property, and if somebody wants to take signs down, they can do it. It is not something that we have the resources to really fool around with.
Thank you. Bruce?
Well, it's not title property. I would tend to agree with the prosecutor. I would not like to see people out grabbing political signs, but Then again, I don't like highways cluttered with them either, but,
Okay, thank you. So, if I may ask, or I will ask, what percent, and this goes to Bruce, do you know what percentage of the budget goes for criminal cases, speaking of which, and how will you cut your budget without impacting criminal justice?
I was looking at the county budget the other day, and the problem, unless it's could be one of those problems where they bury the information, this is not readily available to the average citizen, myself being probably a little more exceptional with getting on the computer, but I don't know what percent, because we're certainly not tracking enough time for me to tell how the criminal defense unit is operating and what percent of that budget is being dedicated to just criminal defense attorneys. I'm certain Mr. Hauge's got that information. Cutting the budget, I don't think you could probably cut the budget any further in the prosecutor's office, but I would suggest that something that hasn't been taking place in 2009, for instance, no bails were forfeited, meaning no criminals apparently ever failed to show up in court. Well, that's certainly a source of income for the county, and start forfeiting bails. We have enough bail bonds companies. Let's take some of that money back when they fail to appear.
Thank you. Wes?
First off, as I've discussed, the criminal budget is cost center 9081. It's available on the county's website. You can see to the penny what goes for criminal prosecution, not defense, in our office. As regards bail forfeiture, I really fail to understand what my opponent's talking about. The rules regarding bail bond forfeiture, if someone fails to show up in court, do allow us to seek to hold that bond. However, if the person reappears in court, any court, at any time within the next 12 months, we have to give the money back. So we do not make a practice of immediately forfeiting bail bonds, because, quite frankly, it'd be a waste of time. When we do have a property bond, for example, someone puts up their home to secure their nephew's release, we do indeed, when they fail to appear, we take steps to foreclose on that obligation.
Thank you.